All right, here we are again, another investigation in the USA.
Yes, we're hot.
And this time we are at another hospital. Well, actually, have we been to a hospital yet?
No, we've been to Poor Farms. We haven't actually been to
a hospital. So we, tonight, are at hospital on College Hill. How creepy does this look? So we are going to be investigating in here tonight.
It's only 5 floors as well.
It is, and a basement.
And yeah,
so we do have a basement as well.
We haven't got much to do at all.
No. Knock, knock.
Welcome,
hello,
ladies.
How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the old hospital on College Hill.
Thank you. Very excited to be here, aren't we?
Well, we love having you here. It's a pleasure. First, before I introduce my partner, I want to apologize for a little bit of renovation we're doing. Well, you already got her. Tonya, introduce yourself.
Hello. How are you?
Webb, and I'm one of the co-owners of the old hospital on College Hill. You're currently in a part of the hospital that's going to be our gift shop and museum when we get it done. So
we've already done our shopping, haven't we?
we've done our shopping. Yes, thank you.
First thing we did here, look,
yeah,
got the t-shirts up there.
All kinds of goodies, and then Charlie's going to take you on a tour through the original part of the hospital.
Brilliant.
So you can learn a little bit about its history and what the floors are.
This hospital had stories about it going on why it was open for business. It opened back in 1928.
Right.
And it had stories why it was an ongoing and active hospital, 76 acute care hospital. It had stories going on during its operation, not just since it closed and left and moved. It moved.
I think that's with most hospitals. All hospitals
Probably.
seem to have,
Yeah, well,
like
there's
the grey nurse, don't they? Or something.
Well, you know, hospitals, as we often say, it brings life here as we have newborns, and sadly, many lives end here as we pass on, and that's a lot of activity, no matter what you think. We're trying to collect a lot of data, both digital and stories, and we captured some old newspaper articles. And real quickly, the photographs I think are the best.
Yeah.
Was it worth 1,000 words, right? This is one, obviously, you can tell by the old cars, probably 1940s era, maybe 30s. And this extension that you just came in on, where we began our talk, is our little lobby here. It was probably, we're thinking in the late 80s, maybe early 90s, it was built. But it was attached to here, and that doorway you see there is right above you. You're in the threshold of that doorway. Okay. And we'll get there shortly on our tour. But one of our most famous stories, or infamous, whichever, depends on your view, that was captured by the media at the time was back in 1962, dealt with a gentleman by the name of Mose Blackburn. So we'll talk about him in a minute. The reason I'm saying it now, where you're standing behind you, just pretend there's an X there, and we'll talk about that.
All right.
Quickly, another shot. Obviously, they had done the addition here, the building, and somewhere. They had an ambulance there on the outside. I think that's probably.
I love the icicles.
Yeah, it's probably in the 90s that photo was taken. Obviously, during a nice snowstorm.
Yes.
We go no further without paying a little homage to the two founders that we were just talking about. They ponied up that $175,000. Dr. Salton. And then over on this side, flanking, we let them look at each other, Dr. Conley. Real quickly, we don't know too much about Dr. Conley. He was a really skilled physician. The best story is the predecessor, if you will, to this building was a wooden structure of 2.5, maybe 3 stories, located in downtown Williamson, about 4 or 5 blocks from here. It caught fire. And he had the good vision. The fire started literally on the first floor. He went up the steps, and I guess it was almost like a scene out of a movie, was throwing mattresses from the beds to the ground and encouraging staff and patients to jump. And from what we know from the account, no one died. Yeah. I'm sure there was some injuries, added to the injuries they already had. That's why they were in the hospital. Yeah. But he was credited for saving their lives. Oh, wow. He didn't panic and made sure everyone got out, and he was the last one out. Wow. True man of his leadership and character. So we like to respect that. Oh, yeah. Dr. Salton, I'm giving you some more history, but well, he ties into the paranormal. So you'll tell me how you want me to blend this, but he... the first 2 things we always tell about him isn't paranormal, it's his true career. He was a skilled surgeon. He came here after that fire, and these two met, and fortunately for all of us, was the geniuses to build this. Yeah. He probably would have chosen as a career path to be a veterinarian than a surgeon. Okay. Yeah. it was his hospital, well, the two of them. Today it wouldn't fly, but he literally didn't care to bring in dogs, cats, and there's a story of him bringing in a horse. It wasn't his; it was a friend of his. And and you got to think in the 20s and 30s, horses were they were the cars. Sometimes that's how they they told the soul for their farming and everything that they had. So it's very important. And I'll finish the story by saying somehow they got that horse up to the 4th floor. He did take it in one of the 2 operating rooms, and it had either a blockage. This is common with horses, an intestinal blockage or something. And anyway, he tried to save it. Unfortunately, the horse passed away. That's where the stories began about people hearing horse steps through the hallway. So one of our first spirits, I think, might have been a horse. I don't know, but there's a lot of people that saw. Of course, the ones that saw the horse at the time he was doing it probably it was in shock. But there's folks that have stayed here. Your contemporaries have heard horse steps, horse hoofs. I'm trying to think of the word, hoofs, clamping through. The Sultans bought the Conleys out, his interest out, and they were pretty much 99% the sole owners of it up until the early 80s. So, but on this floor we have a lot of activity because when we bought the hospital almost 3 years ago, one of our other stories, and I can share with you, there's a story about the nurse that never checked out. She was a employee here, and it was during the time where you had the time clocks where you literally had a card here and you punch out when you come in, when you leave, start your day, your shift. She was on her way home at the end of her shift, but she had forgot to clock out. Sadly, she turned around from her course from going home, and on her route back to the hospital, she had an accident and died. There's 2 accounts. We're not sure if she was dead on arrival here or died here at the hospital, suffering from the wounds from her car accident. But anyway, the story about her was repeated not just by some folks that's captured, made some captures about her presence, but people who worked here in the last decades before it closed. And they were nurses, and some of them knew her. They were co-workers. And they would tell stories that they felt she was there. And they would almost like speak to her. They knew her presence was here. Yeah. One lady who, she's up in years, I think we have her on camera. There was a special scent or smell when she was around. A good thing. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And they found her almost like a guardian angel. Yeah. Looking after them. But it was hard for the staff because they lost her so young. Sadly, someone tried to break in and they pulled one of the pieces of plywood off and threw a rock through one of the last windows we still had intact. I think I'd removed what was left of the old plywood and I was cutting the new plywood to fit. A man's voice spoke so clearly, so, you know, we have our own accents here. His was very, well, it was very clear, let's just say that, very bold. And he asked the question, what do you think you are doing? Okay. Of course, I'm like, what do you think I'm doing? You know, I got a saw, I got a hammer, drill, screws, and I'm looking around while I'm uttering, you know, my response. There's no one around for as far as the eye could see. And then you come here to the 4th floor, where really it's the smallest in square footage terms because they shortened them when they did the fire escapes. They changed the roof line. I know I personally spoke to a lot of men who worked here as custodians, maintenance, and they always said when they cleaned up, this is when it was open as a clinic from '87 to early 2000, they always tried to make sure they got off this floor before it got dark. There was just something about it. Doors would slam, voices, things would move. Small operating room. Of course, you had windows. Some say that was windows. Yeah. They changed it, but they had them to where you could watch your loved ones if you wanted to. They told us. That's the story. And I will tell you, there's something about this room because you're many of our overnight visitors, like yourselves, investigators. I assure you, none of this equipment is turned on, but it will beep and come on from time to time for some odd reasons. I'll let you figure that out. But they're not even plugged into a wall. I'll tell you one more story from up here because I always forget it. This was told to me by an elderly lady here in town. She worked here, not as a nurse, because most of the stories we get seems like it's from the healthcare professionals, but you had a lot of, there's a lot of other support personnel. Anyway, as most, and they still do today, the large hospitals, the chains, if you will, they kind of move their administrators, CEOs around. And she was from up in the Northeast. And especially at that time, and this isn't certainly being sexist, she really had to be really good because women weren't always in those fields at that time. Just the way it was. So she was, no one ever questioned her skills and abilities to be have the position she had. The word is she got along with everyone, but she hated the hospital. And I'd say without me interjecting anything, she probably wanted to be at a bigger hospital or state of the art, something like that. And when things would go wrong here, she also had the Northeastern language where she didn't care to say her expletives, And the women here at that time, that wasn't commonplace. I won't say they were offended, but it was like they probably were aghast and had to, what'd she say? But anyway, she hated the hospital. On one of her tyrants, she was walking through the desk of the secretarial pool with her office was at the rear, and it was on this floor. As she walked through it, she was, again, upset with the building, fussing. And they were used to it, but they watched her. She went through, and she usually always slammed her door before she got to around behind her desk. But this time, the door opened, she said. It didn't. She reached and she closed it, but either she didn't put enough force to it or the door just didn't want to close. And the door opened wide, and they could see her without being nosy. It was just visible. And by the time she got around to the back of her desk, this person reported to us, each of the secretaries in that pool, 4 or 5 of them, saw everything just go off her desk into the floor. Like they said, like an arm, just, how you would take an arm and just push everything into the floor. And they said it startled her, and she got out of here. That was her last day, I think. 3rd floor, OB/GYN maternity, patient rooms when they needed it. And I'll start with our most exciting story. What happened in 1962? Our local police department received a call that there was I'll use our words today, a domestic occurrence or between a husband and wife. It turned out to be a Mr. Mose Blackburn, known to be probably a little bit of a hothead. But he and his wife, and right now her name escapes me, I apologize, but they owned a little tavern or kind of grill restaurant in town, and they were in their car, but apparently they were really having a dispute, enough to where somebody called the police. Our 2 police officers arrived. One of them was Lieutenant Garnet Richmond, and for whatever reason, and none of us were there, someone produced a weapon, and gunfire was exchanged between Mose Blackburn and the police officers. He was successful in shooting Garnet Richmond in the head, and he was brought here and died from the gunshot wound he received. The other officer returned fire, but at some point he was able to either subdue Mose Blackburn. I don't think he shot him, but he did disarm him and put him in under arrest. He was pretty beat up and bruised from the event, and it was so bad for him that he had to be hospitalized, and he was put in this room here behind you. Kind of like an old movie scene. He was put in there in a bed, and they posted a guard here on his door. The story is, and the story I'm relating is verbatim from the newspaper account. While he was a patient here, in a few short days of his hospitalization, he persuaded the guard to go down to the bathroom and get him a glass of water. So anyway, the guard obliged and went to get him a glass of water. And while he was gone, despite his situation and bandages and everything he must have had on him, Mose leapt from the bed, ran down this hallway, and windows were different then, but I'm sure it was the open swing style because they probably had it open for air to get in. He went through that window, jumped, which it's a third floor jump, which usually that can be fatal. And he landed in that spot I was telling you to remember where the X is, because when he went out in 1962, that lobby wasn't built yet. So he landed on the ground, or probably the sidewalk to the entrance. Amazingly, he survived that. But the stories are from different nurses, from nurses that were here, each having kind of a different story, was that when he did leap up, he claimed demons were chasing him. And of course, he might have had remorse from killing a police officer. Maybe it was working on his conscience. Some said they saw things pursuing him, not the police officers, because I thought, well, that they might have helped him out the window. There's a story about that, too. But anyway, the main thing is that he went through the window, either of his own accord or with some help, screaming, survived it, and a month to the day of that jump, leap, whatever, he died. We went to the local courthouse and got his death certificate, which is there. Of course, it mentions of the fractured tumor and stuff, things that, the blood clots and stuff, things that probably today that might not have killed him, but it did.
Yeah.
So there's your death certificate of Mr. Mose Blackburn. And the stories evolved again. What really possessed him to do that? He knew he was on the third floor. Was he just trying to escape from the extent of his damages and the situation? I can't imagine he thought he could get away. Maybe it was suicide. Maybe it was help. I don't know. We'll go on down to the basement if you're ready.
Yeah.
Best part of it will be a cooler. You know, I told you when the hospital closed, they put doctors here to run this. Basically, it was kind of like a clinic. And one of the most prominent doctors, obviously the busiest one, was and reasons I'm not sure I still understand. He put a pediatrician down here. Wow. I call the border of the wallpaper the spookiest thing, from Humpty Dumpty over here and all those fairy tale stuff and bears.
It seems so outplaced, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, when we came here, you see the tile where you see it looks like old tape was there, like Scotch tape, you know what I'm talking about? It was kind of, still is a practice. The physician, the pediatrician, he's still practicing today, he's 90-something. He put the photographs of his patient kids here. Of course, we had to take them down. There's a thing called HIPAA in this country that you'd be giving away their health information. So these were all photographs of all his patients over the years. But what I really want you to see, that we kind of went past it, but that was over there behind you was the main entrance, the front door, if you will, to the hospital where she's heading. Yeah. That was the lobby. Wow. Of course, you came there, and the nurse or whatever would be behind this window, I assume. I'm sorry we got some stuff blocked up there. We're moving stuff. To show you how busy, I'll use that word, this hospital was. You know, today you go into an American hospital, usually there's little curtains between you and the next poor person who needs some kind of medical help. Here you have 12 ER rooms. Yeah. That's quite busy. I'll tell you another story. This was a Tonya Charlie story. I told you during October we let the public come in and we do a little fun with escape. You're familiar with escape rooms. Yeah. So we call ours escape floors. It was Tonya's creation and it's done great. People come all over the country. This will be our third year with it. Well, you do a walkthrough, don't you, at the end of the night. So Tonya and I were down here, and in this room we still have the gurney. You see it there. And I told you we didn't put props, but for that event we did buy props. And we have a young lady, not a mannequin, but she's used, the people who made her, they do for Hollywood stills, more, you know, not cadavers. Let's just call it a cadaver. They don't, but, and they have her, she looks so lifelike. Oh, I mean, there's times I can even come upon her knowing, and I go, I'm startled, you know, anyone would be. And the extent of how they did her wounds looks so lifelike. Yeah. Well, what we did, we acquired her, bought her, and we put her on a gurney. And part of the escape floor thing is to try to figure out why did she die from her wounds. Okay, and that's part of the little mental game you play. The patient, if you will, is on the gurney in there, and we had just turned the light off, and we had our flashlights, and this door just starts closing, and you can tell, this is radiology, I'm going to assume it's probably a lead-centered door too. It's extremely heavy. it's a carpeted room now. A draft would not move that door if it was a 50-mile-an-hour wind. And the door was partially pushed back a little bit, I have to admit, and it started closing. Well, we look at each other and say, there's somebody. You know, that's why we do this.
Yeah.
We had one we didn't count, one of our visitors, and stayed over. I take my light. Clearly, there's no one there. I push the door back like it is now against the wall. And we both take a step back while we're having that look. It did it again. Wow. And we both got the feeling there was a message that we were being told separately, because we both repeated it when we got out of here. It's like, we have a patient. We have to close the door. You'll have to leave at this time. And we never heard it, you know, openly, but the message got to both our heads. And I'm not one prone to this stuff, folks. I'm really not. So I left the door closed, to say the least. And you know, we came back the next morning. Yeah. It was up in the day. No one else had been here. The door was wide open, like it is now.
All right, so you've been here for, how long have you had it, did you say?
This is going on our 3rd year.
3rd year. And what experiences have you had here?
Me personally, quite a few. My very first one was on the 2nd floor. I was walking, it was around 8:15 in the morning, and I was walking the long hallway of the 2nd floor, and I walked past a room, and just as plain as day, I heard a man say, "Hey." I stopped in my tracks because it startled me a little bit. And I just assumed that it was the paranormal investigators from the night before, because they had 2 men in their group. So I thought they were still in the building. So I got my phone out and I started texting with them, and I went, "Hey, are you guys still in the building?" And they said, "No, Tonya, we're not. We left about an hour ago, but we need to let you know, while we were packing up our stuff, we kept picking up a male's voice on the 2nd floor." So that gave me goosebumps. For me, it's been things like hearing voices, doors shutting, lights flickering on and off, hearing footsteps on a floor that I'm not on when I'm the only one in the building, or maybe just me and Charlie. Just, you know, every time we come in here, it's always something. I'm getting better with it. You know, at first it startled me a little bit and scared me, but now I'm a little bit more comfortable. If I hear the voices, or if I hear, you know, footsteps or things like that, it doesn't startle me as much. Yeah. So,
have they shown any, like, that they know who you are now, that they're familiar with you?
Not to me personally, but we had a paranormal investigator here, and you may be familiar with him. His name is Nick Groff.
All right, yeah.
He does a series called, well, it used to be on the Travel Channel, but his series that he does now is called Death Walker. Yep. He was in the basement, of all places, again, the basement. And as he was walking through, he did a spirit box session, and he kept picking up a voice and a sound in a lady's voice, and she said her name was Sally. And he said, "Well, can you tell me your last name?" And it came through Webb, and it ended up being my paternal grandmother.
Oh.
So she passed away before I was born. She passed away, I believe, in '69, and I was born in '73 here in this hospital. So to hear her voice, because he called me and he said, "Tonya, you've got to come and listen to this." So I came up not knowing what to expect, and listened to his evidence and listened to his spirit box session, and I just broke down in tears. Wow. Because to hear her voice, she said her name. She said she was in a lot of pain, but she passed away from lung cancer. So I'm sure she was in a lot of pain. So that was personal for me. Yeah. So I felt like it was a message that maybe she was trying to send to me.
When it came up for sale, what made you decide to buy the hospital?
You know, I get asked that a lot. And people, even my own mom, she's like, "Why, Tonya, why?" Now, if you'd have told me 20 years ago that I would own the hospital that I was born in, I'd probably tell you that you were crazy. But I was always kind of drawn to this building, to this hospital, and the nurses' college next door. just strictly because of the way it overlooks the city, the way that it's built. I love old buildings and I love history, and I think there's so many stories that this hospital and the Nurses College have to tell. I think she's just getting started, but I've always had kind of this, I don't want to say attraction because I don't sound right, but kind of a bond with the building. I just always felt drawn to it, if that makes any sense. And you know, when the hospital came up for sale in 2020, I found out by accident. Well, I'm not even going to say it's by accident. I think it was meant to be. I really do. I'm very much a history buff, so even if you're not into the paranormal side of it, the history alone of this hospital, a 95-year-old hospital, you don't see that very often. No. You don't get that. Usually they're torn down. So I just wanted to be able to preserve not only my history, but my town's history. I just felt like, you know, give it a try. If I can't make it work, then I can't, you know. But I felt like it was worth it. And I felt like she had stories that she wanted to tell.
If you're wondering also why we're looking so scruffy with hair like this, it's because it's 80%.
Oh, it's 70%.
70% humidity, but it's going up to 80% humidity. So our brains are just about fried. So I do apologise if we're a little bit vacant. They were showing us these earlier, so you might recognise them from the other asylums like Arradale, but these are the, I have been told I can get into them, but I don't think I will.
How cool is this?
Oh, God, they're heavy.
So they go in sideways?
They go in sideways. So this is where the bodies were put. Now, I'm used to the ones where... What the hell was that? Now, I'm used to the ones where... Now, I'm used to the ones where...
Don't know.
What the... Did you hear that, guys?
Okay.
Where do you think that came from?
Don't know. I honestly don't know where that noise came from. But anyway, let's just carry on. It's all good.
We'll pretend we didn't hear that.
Yep.
I'm just stopping for a minute, guys, to listen. That was loud.
It was loud.
We are the only ones in here, by the way. Okay. I'm used to the ones that come from the sides.
From the sides, yeah. Not used to ones like this.
Not ones like this. While you're doing that, I'll stick this back on. So as you can see, it's pretty dark in reality up here. I'm going to turn this light off in a minute. I am going to have a little blue light on just so that you can see the lay of the land. It's still going to be fairly dark and creepy for that.
You can see we've got a little dark corridor down there.
Okay.
And then we've got another down there as well.
We are also going to sit down for a minute.
Yeah, we purchased some.
We purchased some little camp chairs.
Because it's so hot and so tiring.
Hope you don't mind us coming to visit. My name's Alison.
My name's Kag.
We'd love to chat to see anybody here who'd like to chat back. There's a lot of lights out. If you go close to them, you might be able to light them up. Let us know you're there. I can't see you and I can't hear you. I don't have that gift. Light one of the lights up.
If you hear dripping, by the way, guys, it's probably just sweat coming from us, isn't it?
Alright, I have a little box here. I'm just going to put that on the floor in front of me. There. Maybe you can come up and put your voice on it. And then we'll listen back and see if you've said anything. So we've given you our names. Maybe you could give us yours. Is there a nurse here who's still working? In which case we admire your dedication.
All right, so Mose, it is Mose, isn't it?
And just tag my stomach then, guys.
Yeah. Mose, if you're here, can you let us know that you're around? We're not here to judge you. Just wondering whether you can just let us know by making a noise. Or come and say your name into this little light here for us.
Alright, we're going to listen back. See if you said anything. Alright, we're going to listen back. No. Nothing on that one. You sure you don't want to light any of the lights up? Let us know. Actually, I've got a cold breeze on me now, which is nice.
But where's the breeze coming from? Because there isn't a breeze.
The window. Can't see one anyway. Oh,
What?
the lights just lit up.
Oh, I had my camera facing down that way. So,
did?
Yeah. Do you guys see that?
Well, thank you, if that was you. No, I've only got my voice recorder and speaker in my hand. You know it's coming from the stairs. Coming from there. I don't know. So if that was you, can you light up those lights again, please? Oh, it's cold here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it the lift?
I don't know.
Well, it shouldn't be the lift because apart from at this moment in time, it's normally in use.
There's no breeze.
Hold on.
No breeze. It's chilled. Do you want to come over here and just see what you're... It's getting colder.
Fucking get up, Harold.
I'm so... You can't what?
Hey?
Did you just swear then?
No, I said fucking get up, I would.
Oh.
Oh,
Isn't it?
it is. It's really weird. You look really scary in that way.
And it's getting colder. I'm actually quite chilled in my arms. My hair's up. I don't know if you can see, guys.
No, I can't.
Can't.
No.
About on infrared. Well, I appreciate the coolness. It's like, it's what we need. Thank you. Don't know.
Should we go and do a nasties?
Yeah, have you got headphones? You can put that there. Hello? Does anybody mind me coming in?
Need a light.
That one?
About happy here.
No.
No, it's just making a noise, isn't it? Look at this, guys. How creepy is that? So does nobody want to talk to us? Nobody at all wants to talk to us? But Mose, are you here? There's a lady standing there. She's got some funny things on her ears. Why don't you go and play with her hair for me? She's very precious about her hair. Why don't you go and play with her hair for me, please? Just try really, really hard. Yeah, we don't use dowsing rods.
There's nothing.
Okay. Yeah, we're a team that uses the equipment rather than using anything that can be manipulated. Not saying people do on purpose, but we do all have minor movements we don't realise we're doing.
If we did anything that we could manipulate, it's not going to convince you that we didn't do it. So we try and stay off anything that we can actually be accused of manipulating.
So anything like
I just went off.
Ouija boards, dowsing rods, pendulums, tipping tables, anything like that.
So
yeah.
I'm thinking going back to that spot. There's nothing. There's no words coming through.
Okay, let's go back here. Seems very quiet in here. On this floor anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that's the way of it, guys.
Sometimes it's really active and other times it's as quiet as. Okay, so if there's anybody here, there's a lady standing there with some funny things on her ears. If you want to go and talk to her, you're more than welcome to. Her name is Alison. Did you used to work here?
Started.
Okay, started. Okay, did you hear that noise, guys? Anybody hear that noise? Noise came down the hallway there. Rose, was that you making that noise?
It's just nothing.
No, nobody wants to come and talk to us.
Oh, that was a fainter here.
Okay. There's somebody here with us.
Nope. Nothing.
Well, whilst you're on that, there was quite a weird noise down from your end, that end of the hallway.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you know, like how we had before.
Yeah.
So.
What did it sound like?
You know, like that metallic sound that it was downstairs.
Yeah.
It was like that. But a lot of people heard it on here as well.
Let's see what Vox has got to say for itself.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go for a walk.
Let's see if we get anything.
If there is anybody here, I've got a little box in my hand.
In Wales.
And if you want to say anything, then maybe you can try and manipulate this.
Ah, it's really quiet, isn't it?
It is quiet in here.
But then, does that mean it's not haunted? No, it doesn't. It just means nobody wants to come out at the moment.
Anyone talk?
I don't know why.
Don't know why.
It's cold and raining in Adelaide.
Oh gosh, I would give anything for cold and rain at the moment.
So would I. Does anybody want to talk to us? Any nurses here or doctors?
I think that's absolutely amazing that there are people who work in this profession who are that dedicated that they still want to help.
Oh, it's a little bit creepy. You back. We do try. I mean, if sometimes nothing happens, it's totally out of our control.
And the one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put things on for you to entertain you and think we've had something to happen. Any place, any haunted location can be quiet on the night. It doesn't happen every day.
No.
And maybe they just don't want to talk to us. I don't want to talk to everybody every day. That's okay. And besides, the night is young yet, Kag.
Unfortunately, we're not.
We've got another 2 areas to do yet. So. Let's do one last EVP session for you guys. Hey, let's have a look down here.
That's our other music box.
That's our new music box.
How creepy is that, guys?
Alright, I'm going to put that little box on my hand, flatten my hand like that. If you want to come and talk to me, I'll be ever so grateful. Don't know if you've missed my name up there. My name's Alison.
My name's Kag.
Did you work here? Did you work in pediatrics? Did you work here?
What's that?
I don't know. Did you work here?
Oh.
Emergency? Theatre? Theatre?
Let's give it a go now.
There. We've got the 2 knocks. There's 2 taps on the recorder. And that. Theatre? There. Tap, tap. And then another.
Yeah. Well.
Alright, so a maybe. Maybe. That did sound like a...
Yeah.
When I said, do you work here?
Sound a little bit creepy.
I don't know what the 2 taps were on the microphone.
No.
Because it was on the flat of my hand, which you could see.
Yeah.
I wasn't touching it. Before there was another whisper. But we're going to move on. So sorry it wasn't kicking off tonight, guys, on your session. But as I said, I'm never ever going to put things on for you, ever. So, and that's whoever's up here. If there's anybody up here, they're not talking tonight. So we'll try another floor, and if we get anything, you'll see the highlights on YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll try it down. Fine. I'll try it down. Fine.
Oh, did you hear that?
Yes, I thought that was you.
No. That wasn't me. That was something behind.
Oh,
Over this way somewhere.
that's reassuring.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Because that's down there, isn't that where emergency is? Or is it up here emergency? I can't remember.
I think it's always been mentioned. Alright, if there's any children with us, we'd love to just talk to you. You don't need to be afraid of us. We're just 2 little old ladies sat here. We'll talk to anybody. Because we're mums as well, aren't we?
We are.
So my name's Kag, and I know that's a really strange name. This is my friend Alison. And we're both mums. We've got children, although they're big now, aren't they?
They are.
So I'd love it if you could light up the lights or make some noises so we know that you're there. Was that you?
That was me yawning. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant work.
Well done.
We put some toys out for you. I've got some bowls. And what else? I've got some... What's those cross things that you throw up? What they're called again? Jacks.
Quotes.
No, jacks.
Oh.
Brilliant. Bye. Quoits.
Quotes here.
The pointy things. Quoits
Jacks.
around. Jacks. Yes.
Yes.
So I bought some jacks for you to play with as well. So if you want to have a go at those, there's a little ball there. And we can have a game if you want to. Because that would be great fun.
We also heard a noise earlier. Can you light up if that was you? Oh.
Oh. What if we sing you a nursery rhyme?
Oh,
What's that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, that was like, oh.
Didn't mean it like that. It was like a... Okay.
All right, so we're going to sing some nursery rhymes. If you want to join in with us, you can do. If you don't know the words, then why don't you light up one of the lights?
And just
nearby?
hum.
Yeah, just hum. Yeah. Are you ready? Let's do Ring a Ring a Roses first. Now, you might sing it slightly different to us because we come from a different part of the world to you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we're from Australia, which is a long, long way away.
Mm-hmm.
So we sing it slightly different, mind you, than we... Yeah. I think Australians sing it slightly different to what we do.
Probably.
Because we're originally from England,
Yeah.
so... Alright, you ready? After 3, 1, 2, 3.
Ring a roses,
a
pocket full of posies, a tissue,
a tissue.
we all fall down. That sounded terribly
It
off.
sounded really bad.
That was
didn't
not
it?
a good rendition of it.
No.
Sorry, guys, that wasn't very well sung.
But did you enjoy it though? I mean, I know it wasn't very good singing, but did you enjoy it? Can you light the lights up and let us know, please?
Okay, we'll gather you didn't then. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row. Did you like that? No? Tap behind us.
Mm-hmm.
What about Amazing Grace? Why are you looking at me like... All right.
Do you want to sing that one?
Yeah, let's. What? What did you say? What did you say?
I was like, okay. It's just the way he started, it just makes me laugh.
Why?
I don't know, it just does. I don't know why.
Sing. Oh, I didn't sing. What's wrong with that?
Oh, mate. Oh, dear. All right.
All right.
Law. Okay. 1 to 3. Only.
What's that? Where's my light? What have you done to my light?
I haven't done anything to you like.
I should get my whistle out.
You should get your whistle out. All right.
All right.
Okay. Mate. I can't sing. My throat's
What
gone.
was that? Oh, maze. Sorry, guys. We're not laughing at you. Hopefully we entertain you. We're laughing at ourselves.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. I think the wheat's got to
that saves
a wretch like me. I once
Oh gosh, was lost, but
now I'm found.
Was blind.
It's the worst
but
singing.
now
I see.
Oh dear me.
I'm going to say, if there's any ghosts here, they've gone.
I would say they'd left, or they'd sat in the corner wetting themselves, one or the other.
Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger,
He's
that's
dead.
no.
What?
Don't know what happened there. Mama, life has just begun, but now I've gone.
Rolling
like-
all the
it's like
way.
Kings being born. Mama, ooh, I don't want to cry. No, die.
No, not that one at all. That's the other bit.
This is how hot my brain is.
I didn't realise it gets to the stage where you get that hot, it can actually just melt your brain.
And your vocal cords.
Exactly. So there's nobody who wants to talk to us? Any nurses here? Doctors? Any other patients? Just have to be children. You can come and join us. Anybody
I
here
promise
at
we
all?
won't sing again.
No. Okay, guys, so we're going to do an EVP burst. Now, if anybody's here, any children, we're going to play a little game, all right? We're going to ask some questions, and we want to see if you can answer any for us. Okay. So, so you don't have to come too close, I'm going to go and put it next to little ducky over here. There once was an ugly duckling.
With feathers all
fluffy and brown,
brown,
and the
brown, brown,
and the
brown, brown.
and the
Oh!
What was that?
What was that? Lost me. Fucking hell.
Don't you dare to know.
I'm not. My finger's on it though.
Big girl.
Alright, that was in the room next to me.
What was it saying about growling or whatever in here?
If I hear a growl, I'm out here.
Well, that wasn't far off there.
That was... Maybe he doesn't like you singing.
There once was an ugly duckling, feathers all stubby and brown, and all the birds in so many words said, quack, get out of town. Quack, quack,
Get out.
quack, quack,
Get out.
quack, quack.
Get out of town.
So he went with a quack and a waddle and a quack and in a flurry of I go down. Don't you like that song? Maybe I'd put the voice recorder in there. A little bit, what do you think? Alright.
Well, while you're in there, you could have a look around and see if anything makes that sound.
I could do.
And I'm all alone in the hallway.
Let me have a look.
No, maybe just put it in the doorway, then come back.
Oh dear.
What was that?
Oh, that wasn't me.
That wasn't me.
Okay, so I'm going to put this voice recorder just inside here. Alright. If you can answer our questions for us, I'd be really grateful. So if there is anybody in that room, can you tell me who made that noise, please? If there's anybody at all that wants to let us know that you're here, whether you're an adult or...
There's a little light flash on the strand there, on the strip.
So if you're an adult or a child, if you worked here or you were a patient, you could try really, really hard to let us know who you are. We'd love to have a name of the person we're talking to. Anything else you want to say to us?
Is there anything we can do for you?
If you have spoken, thank you very much. Nothing.
Not a dicky bird.
Not even one of those. Very disappointing. Very quiet. How about an Esther's?
How about? It'd be funny if we both fell asleep. Who's going on the headphones?
Don't mind.
Power off.
Who's less likely to fall asleep?
Neither of us tonight. And I've fallen asleep twice already.
Ditto.
Did you as well?
Yeah.
Did you fall asleep?
When you said about us singing out questions, I was asleep. I may have nodded off a couple of times already.
Well, I think that's good because I think, you know, when you fall asleep,
Yeah,
it puts you into a different brainwave pattern.
yeah,
And that's when things can happen.
yeah. That's our excuse and we're sticking to it. Specialist. The treehouse is falling down.
Were you a specialist in children?
Let me just turn this up because I can hear you.
All right. Were you a specialist in children? Did you work in pediatrics? What about the lovely nurse who never knocked off?
Take care.
Never knocked off. Never clocked off. Take care of what? Did you take care of the patients? Or are you warning us to take care?
Buddy.
Oh, hello. Just missed the EDI going off.
Economy.
Can you go and very carefully and gently touch Kag and let him know that you're here? If you don't want to talk through the headphones, you could talk through this. You could have flashes for yes, no flashes for no.
And Tom.
Can you flash to confirm you know what I mean? Thank you. So that's a yes, you understand. All right, are you a child? Remember, flashes for yes. Are you a man? Oh, thank you. You are a man. Wow, thank you very much. Did you used to work here? Did you... Okay, you did used to work here. Were you one of the doctors here? Thank you. Did you work with the children?
Not getting anything.
Well, hang with it.
Very quiet.
Hang with it.
Hang with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you one of the original doctors? Okay. One of the founders of the hospital? Thank you. Are you happy that Charlie and Tonya have bought it? Oh, good. Are you happy with what they're doing? They seem very passionate. Oh, there's a click down the hallway there. Well, thank you for talking to me. Are you still there? Bring Kag out of the room.
Nothing.
I had a little bit of a conversation with the EDI though.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. We could put ghost tube or box on and go for a walk around.
Let's do that. We're not getting anything, are we?
Well, we're not, are we?
We're not. It's very
We're not.
quiet in here. Probably because
Apart from the very loud noise,
Oh, we've had some loud noises, yeah, which has been a bit
which wasn't
weird.
quiet.
No, that wasn't quiet. Oh dear. Does anybody here like to sleep? Because we like to sleep, don't we?
We do.
We like to sleep. In fact, we'd like to sleep right now.
Would.
Because it's so warm in here. Must have been really noisy when you were here. Very difficult to go to sleep. Now it's nice and peaceful. It's really easy.
Which is probably why we fell asleep
Yeah.
twice.
Ghost tube. I should do a little bit of seer.
Oh, we haven't had seer tonight, have we?
Oh, let's do a little bit of seer.
All right. Well,
Oh, straight away.
straight away.
Oh.
Wow. Looks like something.
Somebody's lounge.
Don't know. Is that the house? Do you know what it looks like? You come in.
Oh, it's
That's
that
a
big, that big
Oh my
fireplace that we've
God.
got.
Oh my god.
And there is a table like that.
Oh my god, yes. I
That's-
thought it looked familiar.
Apart from this bit at the top, no, we don't have that. But
We'll show you a picture when we get in there. We'll take a photograph of the house.
we have got a big fireplace out of it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'm going to take that.
Okay.
And I have my hand on the light in case I need it really quickly.
Why? What? How has that made things better? Just by swapping around equipment. How has that made things any better in the slightest?
Yes, because I'm not carrying the camera. I think it made things a lot better, Kag.
No.
Nobody understands.
Oh, we all try, but we need to know what the
Yeah.
problem is.
We understand. I've just got to get off the chair. You don't understand. It takes me a while. Now, that was interesting.
What was that?
The shadow. Things darkened up around the...
Is Definitely darkened down there.
Lights down there. Okay. I just hear a man's voice then.
From down that end.
Not sure what end.
Who is he?
Oh!
We don't know who he is.
That is creepy.
Now you also need to be
Oh, a picture.
2 men watching us.
Oh, they're in front of that fireplace. With something white.
Attached to him. Like a ghost attached to him. Alright, is there anybody around that would like to talk to us? I've got 2 boxes in my hands.
Close it.
Close it. What, this door?
Unfortunately, we can't, I don't think, with that one.
I don't think it closes. We're going to come down and talk to you if there is anybody who... Oh, the door that closed. With
Oh, yes.
Unfortunately, it's too heavy for me to close. Do you want that door closed? It's not up for us for closing though, unfortunately. You hear that?
Yeah.
Should we just stand here for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to go soon. Oh, not down the other end.
Is there?
Yeah,
I missed that.
hopefully the other camera caught it.
Far away.
It was far away, it was down the other end. Are we far away from where you are? Are you trying to get our attention down there? Alright, we're going to say goodbye. Can you say goodbye to us, please? Any way you can. Well, thank you for any of the little things that you gave us. Oh, thank you. Did you catch the lights?
No, I didn't.
Well, that'd be right. Why can't you have your camera pointed in the right direction, Kag?
Because nothing's happened all night.
Alright, we're going to say goodbye.
See ya. Bye.
Anyway, we have finished now at the old hospital on College Hill. So we are going to take all our stuff home and we're going to go through it and see what we have. On the surface, at the time of doing this, very quiet. Very, very quiet. Means nothing, guys. Absolutely nothing. It just means that we are on a very low energy night. Or it doesn't want to talk to us, and who does? Not everybody wants to. I can't understand why not.
Well, no, neither do I, but hey.
I mean, you know.
One of those things.
We sang to them.
Yep.
That's probably where it went really quiet after that. All right, we're going to move on. We have 5 more investigations to do in America. I don't know what order you're going to see them in, but that's how it stands at the time we're doing this. So we're going to go and get some sleep.
We are.
And we will catch you on the next episode. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.